Good evening, everybody. Saturday night. It's time to kick off. 24 days left until the end of Shmita 2022. Oh man, wearing some Ethereum gear tonight. You know, I still love my Ethereum. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Ethereum. So I'm thankful for it. And happy to share the love. Looking forward to ETH 2.0 launching. And even maybe getting a fork called ETH Proof of Work. So, yeah, I still love my ETH. Tone says, love the stream, bro. Thank you. Buckle up. Buy your Shmita insurance policy. It's called Hedron, an asset I can't stop FOMOing into the market buying. Cool. Ola Randy, unmasked the Vatican. Yes, tonight's subject is going to be the Vatican. How soon will we start eating bugs? They already have. I mean, I was in Mexico last year. I had some crickets. I tried a cricket taco at a very expensive restaurant, I must say. So it wasn't like I was just eating them on the street. It was pretty good. Texas, you're welcome, buddy. Ted Nelson, hey Randy. We're starting to come in now. Send it down. Pacho Cinco, what's up, brother? Any coincidence team minting ends the same day as Shmita? That's exactly what I thought when I was Gold Key came on to Cabana's happy hour today. And he said that. I'm like, I don't know what. The energy, like I believe in energy, right? So a lot of things are drawn to that date. It just seems to be that happen. That's what happened. Sure works and stuff, Randy. What percentage of your portfolio is stable? Oh, geez, small, man, small. About 2%. I'm all staked out. I like staking. Whatever projects that I'm involved in or I put money into, I stake it. So that's just how I roll. All right, let's do some recaps here. Remember, this is from 2008. I'm going to show you this quick little video just so you can get the idea of what we're in store for on Shmita.
So Apple shares are just getting hammered this morning.
We're down by between 3 and 4.5% generally across these markets.
We're down over 16%. Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
The worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
I was jobless that day. I had just left Tampa, Florida. Some big things were supposed to happen for me. So I went back to Rochester, New York. And I was living with my best friend, waiting for some stuff to happen. It didn't end up happening, but you guys never hear me talk about it. But I was watching CNBC all day that day when we watched the stock market collapse. And it was very disappointing to see and quite worrying, as I had just gone through the real estate collapse in Tampa, where I saw people losing their houses left and right. You know, working on the psych unit where even strippers were coming in who owned like 10 houses, and now they don't have any clients because nobody can afford to go to the strip club. Oops. So and they couldn't refinance their houses anymore because the house value went down by 40%, and they were way over on their mortgages that they got with just a signature. Yeah, it was crazy times. That Shmita was a nasty one. So let's I don't want to see us go through that again, but it seems like we're going to get a double dose this year, just because we have the Jubilee year coming. So in my opinion, that's 2 years of release, or 2 years of debt forgiveness, 2 years where the land isn't going to be tilled, those kind of things. So I don't know how you guys feel, but it just seems like they're going to double down. And if you were here for the other night when I was talking about CBDCs, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to come in later in the show and we're going to bring up CBDCs again because I do have some new news for that. Let's just go through. I'm going to put this up again, showing what's happened since early 1900s.
So, in 1916, 1917 was a Shmita year, and 40% of the US stock market value was wiped out. The German, Austro-Hungarian, Russian, Ottoman empires all collapsed, and Britain almost went bankrupt. That was all during one Shmita year. 1930-31, 86% of US stock market value wiped out in the worst financial crisis in modern history in the Shmita year. 1937-38, 50% of US stock market value wiped out, global recession. World War II, Shmita year. 1944-1945, end of World War II. And the victory parade was actually on the final day of the Shmita. So it wasn't a major financial catastrophe that time around. 1972-1973, 48% of the US stock market wiped out, global recession. 1979-80, US global recession. 86-87, 93-94, 2000-2001, 37% of the US stock market value wiped out. 9/11 happened. The Great Recession, or global recession, hit the stock markets shortly after 9/11. 2007-2008, 50% of the US stock market value wiped out. And in 2014-15, there was another sharp fall in share markets at the end of the Shmita year.
So yeah, I'm gonna start that out. I know that we have a lot of new people coming in just because they saw Cabana's stream today. A lot of people said they're going to come watch tonight. So very cool. Thank you, folks that are coming out and watching. The videos are doing outstanding. I had no idea it was going to be this good, but because nobody else is talking about it on YouTube, I'm rising to the top of the SERPs, the search engine, the YouTube search engine, and people are seeing the videos, and it's pretty cool. A lot of new folks coming in, new subscribers, which is an awesome byproduct as well. I'll be passing 55 pretty soon in true Mexican fashion. All right. Super Snake said, watch the Cabana stream earlier today. It's great that you're educating and spreading the awareness about Shmita. Yes, sir. That's what I'm here for. Paul says, what's good, Shmita Countdown fam? Mark, I saw your question. We'll get to that in a second. So this year is 2022, 2020. Well, they have a different calendar than us. Their year starts on the evening of 27 September. All right. So 27 September and goes all the way to the end of Rosh Hashanah next year. I don't know what the dates of Rosh Hashanah are next year. I think it's not like us. I think they incorporate their leap years rather than do like the Gregorian calendar does. So the Gregorian calendar is what we use. They don't use the Gregorian calendar. They have their own. And I think we're year 5923 in the Hebrew calendar. All right. Oh, is it still there, the music? I thought I got rid of it. Nope, I did not. Sorry, guys. That's the problem with putting the music on. All right, so let's get to this question really quick. Mark says, hey, Randy, what are your thoughts on HEX price suppression with whales and 30-day stakes, dumping interest and restaking? Feel like it's a constant sell pressure. Okay, so if they're taking those stakes and they're reusing them every 30 days, say that you have 10 million HEX and your net profit is at 10 million HEX, maybe you get 100,000 HEX or 150,000 HEX for staking for 30 days. You sell your interest or your yield, and then you go and restake the 10 million HEX. Sorry, it sounds like an ambulance go by. So that's not much sell pressure. 100,000 or 150,000 HEX for a 30-day stake or 60-day stake, whatever they're doing. What it appears to be sell pressure because the stakes keep ending. But if you follow the account, what they're doing is they're taking their principal and they're restaking it out. It benefits us as long-term stakers because it makes the T-share rate go up constantly. Every time they do that, every time they end the stake, the T-share rate goes up. It gets more expensive to get a T-share. So every time they do it, they're also going to get less hex in that if they continue to do 30-day periods or continue to do 60-day periods. So remember, T-share rate keeps going up, and just benefits us really. Yeah, they get to sell, but they can do what they want with their money. I'm not worried about it. Not worried about that sell pressure. I hope that helped. Yeah, I turned it down. Sorry, guys. I meant to end it right after my opening scene. SquareWorks, can you give us a two-level overview, high-level overview, and Shmita, how it relates to economics? Yeah, so going back thousands of years in the Jewish religion, they had something called Shmita. So every 7 years, actually, it's a 7-year period, but at the end of the 6th year starts the Shmita. And the Shmita goes for a whole year. And during that time, they're supposed to leave the land fallow, meaning they're not going to grow. They're not going to have a harvest. They have to relax for the whole year. There's debt forgiveness, and everyone's supposed to relax. Let the ground rejuvenate. Modern farming practices like permaculture. I have a whole book on permaculture here. They talk about rotating crops and leaving one. If you have like 4, you grow on 3 and you let one recuperate every year. It's the same kind of thing. So they were using scientific method even back in the day. So they're also putting that into finance, which makes sense because it's a religious belief and they've been doing it for thousands of years. That's why it's so important to pay attention to it, because the Jewish people happen to be some of the most powerful people in finance in the world today. So when they have a certain belief structure, the people that are in power have a certain belief structure, it's good to respect it. And that's why I'm here to educate and help you guys understand the history of what's going on and what could be coming going forward. Anything cool news today? Yes, I have something. Please, yes, smash those likes, guys. Help us in the algorithm. We're September 15th is the beginning of Rosh Hashanah. The 17th is the end. So it's actually the afternoon of the 17th when the sun goes down. That's the end of Rosh Hashanah. Yep, exactly. That's part of the function as well. Keep prices low for new users. Yeah, let them sell. It doesn't hurt anything. The end of Chile is this Sunday. Why? What's happening with Mateus in Chile? Chile's gone full socialist. It's really a bummer, man. They're doing so well. Hey, Sandy Beach, welcome. Richard said today on Crypto Banter he expects a bottom in 3 to 6 months. Oh, Richard, are you here? Are you watching my streams? I'm pretty sure he already knows the cycle. He grew up in Miami, where there's a large Jewish population, kind of like I did Western New York. Hey, crew, pumped to catch the live stream for the first time. Clintrons, what's up? There's Ray. Great to see you. Thank you. So it works interesting. Have the traditional agriculture Shmita practice been adapted into the modern financial industrial world? Absolutely, they have. Absolutely. And Marion, it's good evening, fam. Happy weekend, good vibes. Yes. I think today is Saturday, right? Yeah, today's Saturday. I think. Oh, geez. I don't even know. No, it's Friday. Life of being retired. Randy, think in the next year we'll get a Rick Santilli 2009 on NBC Spark that begins a new movement. Will be a great video for those that missed it. And maybe I could pull that one up. That was on CNBC. Yeah, we should get something like that. Rick pays attention to those things. So tonight I want to talk about something that's a little bit different. It could be loosely related to Shmita or the restructuring of the finance, of the world of finance. And I think I'm sure we could, if we can get in and find some more information from the inside, the Vatican, we'd find out that it has something to do with this, really. They're using the story in the front door saying that, oh, wait, our finances haven't been run very well. So therefore, we need to do this. So I'm going to pull up some articles to show you guys what's going on. Sorry, I have my articles mixed up. There we go. Here we go. Roman stunner, more or less, the Vatican tells the truth about the money. All right, got the right one. Get rid of this. Pope Francis leaves after he presided over a mass celebrated by U.S. Cardinal Kevin Joseph Farrell. Oh, that's not the part we want to read. If you were listening closely this week, your ears may have picked up a subterranean rumble out of Rome. It was the sound of the tectonic plates of history shifting, as perhaps the first time ever the Vatican actually more or less came clean about its finances. In the old days, it used to be said that how much money the Vatican has was among the mysteries of the faith, akin to how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. Funds were distributed among a bewildering variety of entities and accounts, many of them off the books. In some cases, cash was literally stuffed into desk drawers and cabinets in Vatican offices, replenished and doled out with no paper trail at all. Further complicating things, there's long been ambiguity about what meant by the Vatican when it comes to accounting. Some people mean the Roman Curia, the Church's central administrative bureaucracy, composed of the various departments that oversee matters such as doctrine, liturgy, and the appointment of bishops. Yet there are other operations that aren't considered part of the Curia, which play important roles. The Synod of Bishops, for instance, is a big deal, especially in the Pope Francis era, but by design, it's not a curial office. There's also the Vatican City State, which administers the 108-acre physical plant of the Vatican as well, and other papal territories. Just talking about the different parts of the Vatican. In addition, there's a so-called Vatican Bank, technically the Institute for the Works of Religion, which also keeps a separate set of books, mostly because the vast majority of the assets it has under management don't belong to the Vatican. It handles deposits from religious orders, movements, organizations, dioceses, and other Catholic entities, and the Pope can't simply dip into these accounts at will because it's not his money. Friday's new financial statement excludes the Vatican Bank, which isn't really all that consequential since reforms begun under Pope Benedict XVI mean the bank now issues its own detailed and independently audited annual statement. So we know its situation, also govern the Vatican by state, which remains a bit more opaque. So just telling you that there was some issues at the Vatican with the money. So Vatican News, this came out the other day. It said, Pope, all movable assets of the Holy See to be managed by the IOR. Pope Francis issues a brief rescript to clarify that the Institute for the Works of Religion has exclusive competence for managing all the Holy See's movable and liquid assets, ordering the Holy See dicasteries and entities to transfer all financial assets to the IOR. The Institute for the Works of Religion, or the IOR, commonly known as the Vatican Bank, shall have exclusive competence over asset management and shall oversee the management of all the movable assets of the Holy See and its related institutions. Pope Francis issued that decree in a recent rescript published on Tuesday in the Osservatore Romano. The Pope stipulates that the rescript shall have the nature of an authentic interpretation of the provisions in force and shall have firm and stable force, notwithstanding anything to the contrary, even if it precedes the rescript or specifically refers to special issues. Sorry if this sounds boring, guys, but there is something to be said. I'm getting to it. The relevant article is to be interpreted in the sense that the activity of asset manager and custodian of the movable assets of the Holy See and the institutions linked to the Holy See belongs exclusively to the Institute for the Works of Religion. For this reason, Holy See and related institutions that possess financial assets and liquid assets in whatever form they are held with financial institutions other than the IOR must inform the IOR and transfer them to it as soon as possible within 30 days from 1 September 2022. Boom. The papal rescript enters into effect immediately with publication in the Holy See's daily newspaper. Okay. So, the Vatican puts out a statement saying that all the monies in the papal empire need to come to the Vatican Bank before 30th of September 2022. Anything after the 15th of September won't be honored. So if you want to protect your funds, if you're an institution that's within the church or you have accounts with the church, you need to bring all your money under the umbrella of the Vatican Bank before, or you have to tell them you're going to do it before the 15th of September. Why is that? They said it's because the Vatican hasn't been handling its books very well, that they're tired of having all these entities managing their books. Randy's a conspiracy theorist. Randy says they know something's about to go down. Something big's about to go down. I don't know if the Vatican is well known for being launderers. There's been some accusations, right? What if they, and within their inner circles, have decided, look, the world's switching to CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which are going to be 100% transparent to governments. What if we put our money, all the money that we have around the world, behind our walls in the Vatican? That's what my opinion is. And because a lot of these changes that are happening very quickly, they decided to do it now because they know Shmita is coming. And this new Jubilee year is when they're rolling out the CBDCs. So in my humble opinion, there's too many things coming together for this not to have relevance. So even if this does not have anything to do with Shmita, it should tell you about what is coming with these CBDCs. So Paul Sex says, Randy, think in the next year we'll get a Rick sent. Okay, we saw that. New constitution on Sunday, full communist? Maybe. Our power went out for 50 minutes today. It was 106. Oh my God. I can't imagine the rest of the world, how bad they have it. Yeah, 106. For me, that would be like 44 Celsius. Wow. Bugs, what's up? How you doing, buddy? The 7th day of rest each week is like a mini weekly Shmita. Exactly. The 7th day of rest for the Jews is actually on Saturday. It's no problem, though. For evangelicals like myself growing up, it was Sunday. With Pulse Chain tentatively launched Q4, Q1, Q2, 2023, do you believe this Jubilee year can lead to a slow start to Pulse adoption since crypto markets will still technically be in a bear market? It'll be just slower than it could have been, right? It might not come out as like I was hoping the 100x in the first 90 days. Maybe we'll get an 80x or something. I think it's going to be wild. So, what do you guys think of that? Si yo hablo español, yo vivo en Panama por 12 años. Yeah, I think there's something happening. Like I said, every day or every other day, there's some big piece of news that's coming out that's just giving me more bricks to build up my hypothesis that this September is going to bring about a new financial system. And then over the Jubilee year in 2023, we're going to see big changes around the world, whether we like them or not. They want programmable money. Absolutely, they want programmable money. We might not. I sure don't. I still like cash. I told my wife today that, maybe it's time to, after I was digging deep on this papal stuff, to maybe go out and get some cash, because nobody keeps cash today, or at least a significant amount. So, maybe have a couple $1,000 if you can afford it in your house, just in case things do get really bad, or learn how to barter. Go practice some barter skills if you don't have it. I've got no problem with it. I'm a very good salesman, so I can get out there and trade with people and make sure we have what we need. Tone says, recommend any Latin countries to live in. Latin countries, Costa Rica is probably the easiest for people to test. I think Costa Rica is just, they also have a digital nomad visa now. So you don't have to pay taxes when you go there. I think it's for up to 2 years. So that's a very good deal. Costa Rica is right next door. Panama is not a very good opportunity anymore because they got rid of the Friendly Nations visa. So Friendly Nations visa, you just come here, you put $5,000 in the Panama bank and open up a corporation, and you're allowed to get residency in Panama for 2 years and then apply for your permanent visa after 2 years. So that one's gone. They got rid of it. So now you have to do a big investment, like 250 grand to get residency. But Costa Rica went the other way. It was very difficult to get residency in Costa Rica a couple years ago. Now they're making it super easy because they want people to come. Costa Rica is not as good as it used to be. Getting very expensive. Their inflation is pretty bad. The other option is Mexico, but Mexico is also tightening down. They're making it super difficult. We got denied our visa to stay in Mexico. When we applied in 2021, they wouldn't accept PayPal as a bank. And all of our clients at the time were paying us through PayPal. There's no other way for me to show that we had a significant income to be able to stay in Mexico. And the officer in Mazatlan, I think she just didn't like my wife. My wife said it was a woman jealous thing, but those kind of officers, and they have that kind of power. So denied us. So we had to come back to Panama, which ended up working out great. We were happy to come back. We did not know that. Just cost us a lot of money. We thought we were moving to Mexico for a couple of years and only ended up being for 8 months. It was a really sad time. Lost a lot of money because of it, you know, but figured out I don't like Mexico. I much prefer Panama. Another one is Nicaragua, but you have to know people. And I have a good friend in Nicaragua if you guys decide to live there. Another one is Ecuador. Ecuador, they used to be like pretty anti-crypto. I got messaged by the Ecuador government once because I was running ads in Ecuador, and they said that I must stop marketing crypto in Ecuador or else I will be in trouble. So I stopped marketing there. Yeah, bummer. Crypto Harpy says, love that you're doing this series. Welcome, brother. Chess pieces repositioning. Yes, they are. Some believe that it's actually going to be a good repositioning, right? Because there's some stuff that's happening right now. You said, what do you think about the GCR? What's the GCR, Stephen? Or Stephen? I don't know how you say it. What is the GCR? Babylon will fall in an hour. Be prepared, all peace. Yeah, there's people that believe that this Jubilee year, it might end up working out in the favor of the just, the people who want liberty and freedom and that kind of thing. I sure hope so. That's what I want to see. But you know, history repeats itself. And if we lost gold standard, and when Bretton Woods happened in 1971, we switched to the fiat currency in 72. I think 72 was the Shmita year. 73 was the Jubilee year, if I remember correctly. And yeah, so that was 50 years ago. And now we have another Jubilee year, and this time they're taking us off the fiat system, putting us on CBDCs. There was a certain Hexagon who was promoting Hex in Ecuador. Yes, the Love.io folks. Yep. Can't remember the gentleman's name, but it was Love.io is the project. Where's your guest estimate and launch time frame? I have no idea, Rumble. No idea. I've tried guessing so many times. Every time I've been let down. So I just surviving until it happens. What are examples of how the chess pieces would work out for the better? Oof. Guillotine? I don't know, man. Could we have a French style revolution? It would be rough. It'd be rough for a couple of years, but you know, France ended up with a really strong democracy after, I think it was a republic actually, after the fall of the monarchs in France. Maybe we could have something like that. That'd be really cool. Belize is another one. English speaking. We speak English in Belize. I was not a big fan of Mexico when I went there this year. They low-key harassed me at the airport for bringing too many laptops. And they're so petty. Sorry, anybody that's Mexican, they're watching here. I don't recommend it. My wife and I are like, I don't really want to go back, but we have business there, so we might have to go to Mexico City. We really love Mexico City. It's just dealing with the bureaucracies there, the government, immigration. Immigration is so rude at the airport. They're so rude. I don't really appreciate it. All right, so let me pull something else up here for you. This is crazy. Go back. What is this? What is that? I cannot believe whoever in government decided to do that, because that reminds me of this. Who's seen V for Vendetta? When the right-wing guy was pumping his fist saying that nobody can have a voice. We must stomp out. We must use censorship. We must take them down. Look at this. It's like they took it right straight from the movie. What were they thinking? Seriously. I am not a Republican, guys. Far from it. I'm also not a Democrat. I'm what's called an anarcho-capitalist, and I don't care who's in power. I will find a way to survive. I don't care who the politicians are. My God, what was that? Duganator says, evil Brandon. England prevails. Who decided to put the President of the United States on a podium with a blood red background and black, with the Marines standing way far behind? Who makes these decisions? I cannot believe I saw that. You know, that harkens back to some fascist guy that brought us all to war in 1938, who then invaded Poland. That's what that looks like. I'm surprised they didn't start doing some crazy chants or stomping the feet or doing some crazy salutes. The US is looking at like the laughing stock of the world when they do stuff like this. Look at Twitter. Go to Twitter and look they call it the hashtag is Third Reich, I think. Geez, it's gone now. Oh, look. I'm not even going to say it. Look at this stuff. This is what people are. This is trending on Twitter right now. Look at this. This is what's trending on Twitter. Oh man, I hope you guys could see that. No, sorry, you didn't see it. Let me. I gotta be careful because I don't want to get banned. Like this, I'm just gonna let it go quickly. Look at this. Look. Yeah. That's the shit that's trending on Twitter right now. That does not look good for the American people. Does not look good. I don't care what anybody says. There's one, somebody tweeted out there saying it feels like they're provoking, and maybe they don't want. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Remember, I said that the end of this could be late into November. Maybe they really want to do some funky stuff in order to not have the elections again this year, a typical election, and that will be. I think that a lot of people will be very pissed off, and Klaus might get his planned idea that there's going to be a lot of anger in the world this year. He might get what he wants if that happens. People are going to be very upset if they can't vote. Online Twitter heads love Dark Brandon and loves that, but normal folks see that and raise an eyebrow. They don't live in reality. Bug says, wow, yeah. Swearwork says, we deserve better leaders. We don't do whatever is necessary to make these deep changes. Yeah. Remember the 5th of November. Oh my God. Now you're going to get me going on another date. maybe that's the plan. Can't see it there. Yeah, sorry, I brought it up for you. In the stock market during last days of Shmita, wouldn't puts be beneficial? Look, puts are leverage. You know, it's you could lose your money. I would just be in cash and just buy. If there's a big dip, you win. If there's not a big dip, you still have your cash. That's a win-win for me. I don't like to do anything leveraged. Sacrifice looking. Yeah, exactly. Happy Randy, happy Saturday. Justin playing catch up at 2x. Thank you. Yeah. All right, Matt. So let's see. You know what? I don't have my my charts up, but let's pull these so you guys can see this one. Gotta check this. Speaking of CBDCs, it's just keeps coming. The IMF is exploring a CBDC clearing and international settlements platform. This is from Kitco News. This is probably one of the most legitimate news websites out there when it comes to money. I love Kitco News. In the International Monetary Fund's latest quarterly journal, Tobias Adrain, director of the Monetary and Capital Markets Department, and Tommaso Mancini-Grifoli, division chief in the IMS Monetary and Capital Markets Department, explored the organization's reasoning behind the creation of a central bank digital currency settlement platform. According to Adrian and Mancini, the original idea was the creation of platforms offering a marketplace where digital money can be exchanged and sent internationally, which ultimately means that they will need to support CBDC clearing and settlement transactions between multiple countries. This is going, stop. I'm going to say what this is. This is the equivalent to SWIFT. So they're building something to get rid of SWIFT. The Post goes on to explain the rationale behind creating a CBDC settlement platform, noting that across borders, bridges between trust networks are much harder to establish due to the lack of a commonly trusted asset or network to settle transactions. Yes, but us in crypto have already solved this. So now they want to take our thunder and go and use it in a way that's private for them, but public for us. As global economic conditions worsen, banks are not as willing to trust other organizations as easily as they used to due to the risks inherent in extending bilateral credit to another bank. This has resulted in a small group of very large institutions with established bilateral relationships being able to control the banking market. It's no surprise our payments are costly, slow, and opaque, Adrian and Mancini said. The solution to this problem is the tokenization of money. According to the paper, this would make money accessible to anyone with the right private key and transferable to anyone with access to the same network. Tokenized money introduces a radical transformation that breaks down the need for two-way trusted relationships. Anyone can hold a token even without having a direct relationship with the issuer, the tokens elaborated. Examples of tokenized money cited in the paper include stablecoins like USDC and CBDCs like those launched in the Bahamas and Nigeria. Oh, wow, I didn't know that Bahamas and Nigeria had already done it. So those are the first two. The overall purpose of the settlement platform is to help coordinate transactions between individuals, businesses, and countries, providing settlement services on global scale to ensure payments are made in a timely manner. In essence, the platform would bring each participating institution's money onto a single ledger. Think of that as taking in different monies, putting them in a basket everyone recognizes, and seamlessly exchanging those baskets between participants and across borders. Yeah, it's called blockchain. There's also the possibility of utilizing the platform's ledger to write smart contracts, which are essentially programmable transactions. Evil laugh. That help simplify international transactions further. For example, a firm could program a smart contract to automatically hedge foreign exchange risks of transactions or pledge a future incoming payment in a financial contract. Adrian and Mancini suggested that the platform would also help simplify things for the private sector by creating a common settlement platform and a common programming language to write smart contracts which are compatible with one another. This could lead to the platform becoming a tight public-private partnership. The next step in the process will be the publication of 2 papers that will lay out an initial blueprint for such platforms in the hope of stimulating further discussion on these important topics, which are likely to shape the future of cross-border payments. According to data provided by the Atlantic Council, there are 105 countries exploring the implementation of CBDCs. And then the first image I show you, Ripple to participate in the Digital Dollar Project CBDC's Sandbox program. So if you guys are wondering which one of the projects out there is a total sellout, we know XRP is a sellout. they've been working closely with helping launch the digital dollar, which is the US CBDC. And there's a couple other projects, but this is the main one that's working closely with the US government to do theirs. So be very wary who you support. What did you guys say? So our work says, during these times, it seems wiser to evade the politics and regimes by being decentralized and nimble as a human. That is absolutely right. Exploring my ass, it's a matter of time. It's forced upon us. Yeah. The twin father says, hey, Randy the man, thanks for your time. No problem, buddy. You know, Biden wanted to slam down his fist and say, eat the bugs. And you would like it. Do you think the bankers' elites have their own private crypto for them to launder and the rest of us? I'm not going to go much into it, but because they're going to be using what we use, I think there's going to be there's going to be parallel networks. There's going to be the public, open, private / government versions, CBDCs, and then you're going to have ours. And there's going to be bridges between the two. So they're not going to get rid of crypto. People are so worried that, there's some big thing's going to happen, they're going to get rid of crypto. No. All the stock market, I think housing, all the private money stuff's coming to crypto. We're just the test bed. Those of us who've been in crypto since the early days, we were like the lab rats. They were testing on us to see what would work, see what smart contracts would work, what would break. Would different kinds of stable coins work? If asset-backed stable coins versus algorithmic stable coins like Luna, which collapsed on itself. So we're just the lab rats, and I believe that they're using us to do that. But there's things just happening too fast with crypto for them to stop it. So if they want to, they can slow it down, but they're not going to stop it. They're using a lot of words when they could just say crypto. Exactly. It really is funny. I realize the CBDC is a likely inevitable at this point, but do you think this will help with crypto adoption due to regulation, index funds? Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to. Let me pull up. I'm going to get my charts for you guys. Show you them yet because I'm logging in. Da-da-da-da. Let's get to Bitcoin. All right. And next, did that article just imply the CBDCs would require the general public to be responsible with a private key? They sure did. And I thought that was kind of odd. Maybe it's a private key that'll be embedded in your wrist or one time embedded on your phone, which will be in the future embedded in your wrist, and in the future embedded in a neural implant when you're born type of thing. It's crazy, man. I mean, Elon Musk, when he talks about this stuff, their Neuralink and that, at first it's going to be wires that are connected in your brain. And in the future, it's going to be some little thing that's put behind your ear. Who knows when we're born? Which Pulse Chain added a privacy feature where you can just toggle it on and off if you want that transaction to be private? Yeah, we do have, it's not Tornado Cash. It's going to be a copy of Tornado Cash on Pulse Chain. I think it's Hurricane Cash or Hurry Cash. But boy, yeah, there's a lot of people that like SRP, man. They've got a horde. They really do. They're all over TikTok. Exactly. Brad's all over him, man. He's embedded deep with WEF, I think. Do you think there will be a bridge between ETH to FedNow? Yeah, FedNow is what it's called, the US CBDC. I imagine so. It seems like most of the Ethereum Council, they're all for this stuff. Even Vitalik joked the other day about eating cricket crackers, being happy with it. They're going to give us a false sense of freedom with crypto, then one day crack down and only allow you to buy whatever they said you can buy. Yeah, you're right. It might be a couple years. They might give us five or 2 more cycles, and then they say, okay, you gotta register, or you have to KYC everything. That might be how they get us, right? If you ever want your wallet to be able to interact with the CBDC, you got to KYC your wallet. That's probably how they're going to get us. That's the easiest way. There won't be any more off ramps, right? You can't off ramp to cash. Like when my wife needs money, when she said, "Hey babe, I need a couple $1,000." I'm like, okay, here's some Ethereum, and she'll go see our Czech friend, and our Czech friend, he's got an office on one of the main drags here in the banking sector, just goes down, and that's how they do the transaction, just like that. And it's the other way when I want to buy. So hey, here's a couple grand. She'll go buy some more crypto, even though I haven't had to do that since 2016, I think. But yeah, that's just how it works here. But in the future, we might not have that option. Everything will have to be KYC'd and done through an approved on-ramp. That's the way how they're going to stop us, right? Yes, Hurry Cash. That's the one. That's Tornado Cash on our Pulse chain. Love these streams, Randy. Always appreciate your insights. Thank you, T-Bird. Revelations 13, 16 to 18. What does it say? I used to be a big fan of reading Revelations. Some Starbucks already said they no longer accept cash. Man, I'm telling you, we were just in the UK, and that was the biggest downer for me. I did not like having to use a card everywhere we went. Cashless, cashless, cashless. We don't accept cash here. Are you kidding me? Seriously. I mean, everywhere you went, if you're a tourist and you're going down anywhere in the tourist areas, even the smallest little vendor selling T-shirts or toys for kids, or if you just want an ice cream cone, you gotta put your card out with a chip. Now, for those of you guys who live in the U.S., a lot of your cards are still the ones you have to swipe. But man, in Europe and here in Panama, all of our cards, I don't have my wallet here, but all of our cards have a chip in them, and all you have to do is swipe. And a lot of people that I noticed in the UK just swipe their phone. They use the swipe capability. I think it's NTF or something. That's built into their phones to be able to swipe their phones to make payments. I was blown away. I mean, people would walk up to the tube in New York. I mean, in London, and they'd walk up with their wallet and just swipe their wallet, and they would go right in. I was like, what are they doing? Where I had this Oyster card, which I had to buy to be able to go on the tube each day. I didn't know that you could just use your credit cards too. Everything's going cashless, guys. I think that what's interesting is that you don't care about getting out of crypto into USA cash. They may not be able to contain this the way they think with KYC. Who knows? You're right. That's why I'm saying, if they are going to try to stop us, it's going to be a couple cycles away, because first they have to get the masses to accept the CBDCs. I got some ideas how they're going to do it. They're going to make it so it's very difficult, paying your electric bill, your gas bill, your water bill. You might not have enough food. You're going to come to the government on your knees, and they're going to be like, "Oh, we'll help you. Here's your account that's connected to your social security number or your digital ID number," which we were talking about earlier. And that's what you're going to be able to use. We'll deposit money onto that, and that's how you're going to be able to pay for your gas bills this year, because they can create as much as they want or burn as much as they want anytime they want when it comes to a CBDC, right? It's a digital currency. We see it happen all the time in crypto. Guys come out and say, "Okay, we're going to burn 10 trillion today." And everyone's like, "Yay, they burned 10 trillion. And then the next day they mint another 100 million or something. That's just how crypto is. We saw that happen all the time with USDT. If you guys are around in 2016, 2017, 2018, you saw massive amounts of USDT being minted. And there was actually a bot on Twitter that you would have. I made sure I put the alarm on, so when it happened, I knew to go long, because that's when I used to trade. I used to go long, because if there was that much USDT being minted, that means there was likely Bitcoin was going to pump. And that's how things would roll back then. We just saw that BUSD on Binance, they just printed a whole crap ton, billions worth the other day. How can they do that? I don't get it. Most businesses are just purely digital payments nowadays. Yeah, especially in Europe. Not in Italy. Italy wasn't, but UK was. And I know Sweden and the northern countries, they are. I'm a little bit behind. May not be able to. Yeah, exactly. Y'all, this totalitarian shit gives me anxiety because it's all about our kids' futures. Yes, the thing is, we are ahead of the game. If you're watching this stream right now, you know way more than your neighbors. You probably know way more than 99.9% of the people in your town. So you can still prepare. They're late to they're going to be late to the party. They're too busy watching NFL, man. We still do cash everywhere here in Australia. Oddly enough, it's going to be hard for them to remove cash out of the Aus culture. Look, they just did it in the UK, man. I mean, you guys are not that, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. But we'll see. I used to read all Revelation when I was 10, but then I just got scaring myself. Yeah, it's creepy as hell. Here's your UBI. Yes, universal basic income. This is how they're going to roll UBI out. But there's one thing they don't talk about with UBI, is the fact that they're going to be able to decide what you're going to spend your money on. And that's the scary part of it all. They can program it to only buy certain things. Most businesses are just, we read that one. We're here to help. Use our token. You'll get your money ASAP. Exactly. Like the FEMA. Remember during the FEMA stuff, when there was the hurricane in New Orleans, they passed out the FEMA cards that had $1,000 on it, so people can get hotel rooms and stuff like that. And it was abused like crazy. Well, this one will be attached to your actual ID. It'll be attached to your digital, like crypto ID. Not cool. They'll honeypot the masses with CBDCs. Yes, they will. They will use an event to make that happen. Maybe it will inspire many people to leave US and live in countries that don't do this. They're all going to do it though. Sooner or later. I think your safest countries for now would be the BRICS, not including China. So BRICS are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Your best bets would be one of them. So even though South Africa is a mess right now, Russia is a mess just because they're in a war. But besides that, I think it's going pretty good. No one wants to live in China. India is actually doing pretty well. So what are your choices? Brazil and Russia? That's about it. That's the only place I would look at. Meanwhile, they own all the food, farming, water, and power. Yes, they do. Gonna escape their matrix with Hex, Pulse, and Pulse X. I sure hope so. I remember Hexy Bastard talking about cash being removed from UK in June. Yeah. Yep, I got into it with a lady at York Minster Abbey because I tried to go see York Minster Abbey, and she told me I tried to pay with cash. She's like, no, it's cashless. So what are you talking about? This is a church. She's like, no, you can't come in unless you pay with a card. And I mansplained her what CBDCs were and how she's selling out. She goes, this is because of COVID. We don't want to touch the money. And I pointed at the corner, and there was like a collector's pot where there was a whole bunch of money in it for the church. I said, but what's that over there? They'll take the money for donations, but they won't let us pay with it. It was pretty funny to me. I can't talk to normies about stuff like this. No, can't. Are we that disconnected? Yeah, we are that disconnected. I was lucky. For me, I had a mother. I have my mom who has been supporting me in my paranoia for years, and it helped build wealth for her. I remember we were in Italy and we were having a bad day, and my wife, we got to a fight, Anna and I, and that's having a marriage. Marriage is normal. That's fights happen. And she goes, I'm so tired of your paranoia, because I canceled our trip to Egypt and Turkey because what happened in Turkey, where that young man lit himself on fire right next to where we were going to stay. There's the main tower there in Istanbul. I can't remember the name of the tower, but he lit himself on fire and he committed suicide because of the rising prices, and there were riots were starting, and then the riots were happening in Giza and other places in Egypt. So I canceled those two places, but she really wanted to go, right? Her dreams of always going to Egypt. And I had to say, as the husband, I said, no, we're not going. Well, let's go to Italy. We'll spend an extra, 3 weeks in Italy, which ended up being fine for us. But she's like, I'm so tired of your paranoia. And my argument was, how are we able to spend 3 months in Europe? I said, because of my paranoia. So accept it and let's move forward. Normal people can't understand. It took me, I've been married for, it'll be 10 years this year. And she's just now starting to grasp what goes on in my head, how and why I do what I do. Like having books like all these books, and being self-sufficient, bush medicine, learning how to grow using permaculture, camping, fishing, hunting, and all those kind of things. And in her mind, she thinks I'm a little bit nuts, but I'm just here to protect my family. And I've always looked at it that way. And if my mom comes in, my mom will be the first one to tell you that that's exactly what I've done. I've always been the first one in my family. Anytime there's some kind of weird thing happening, I always bring it up. Like, we should watch this. We should pay attention. In 2006, I got my family into silver and gold. And by 2011, silver was $6 when we first got in. By 2011, it was $42 now. It's $42. All right. So my family did very well with silver. And nobody was talking back in 2006 about silver. Everyone thought it was just a dead metal that nobody cared about. And yes, it's pre-crypto, so there wasn't much that would perform like that back in those days. So, 7x in how many years? 6 to 11, 5 years. That was a great return back in those days. Now we have crypto. Now we get 10,000 X's. Hex. Yeah, I've seen Egypt is really bad for tourists at the moment. Yeah, there was people all over Instagram saying that they were stuck in their hotels in Giza because they were rioting everywhere. They said the people just were told, stay in your hotel, don't go outside. Damn, he lit himself up. Yeah, young man, it was pretty bad. UK has recently seen an increase in cash usage again as people find it easier to budget this way as price increases. Makes sense. I just kept getting stuck with too much cash in my pocket when we were using the pounds in the UK because everywhere we go, it wasn't accepted. I tried to set up a family meeting to teach my relatives about crypto, but everyone just made excuses. They're not ready. When people are ready, they'll reach out. I have a really good friend here in Panama that I told to get into Bitcoin in 2014. He was the first guy that ever took me out. When I got here in 2011, I got to work the first day, and he's like, hey, just met him that day. He didn't even work at the company. He just happened to be one of the guys that handled some legal stuff. He's like, hey, Randy. He goes, welcome to Panama. He's like, he's from Chicago, but he lives here, married to a Panamanian. He's like, hey, you want me to show you around town? I was like, hell yeah. So he took me around. I got to know Panama really well. And then in 2014 and 15, I was trying to talk to him, be like, hey, man, you should check out Bitcoin. You should start looking at crypto. And I guess he was making so much money doing teak farming and those kind of things that he decided that he didn't need it. Well, oops. Now he got into Hex and did HSI stakes on Hedron Drop Pro right when Hedron launched. So he did very well with that. But then while I was in Europe, he was loading up on Hedron when it was at its lows. So he had billions and billions of Hedron. And I get messages every other day, holy crap. And today I was like, make sure you take some profits. get that original nut back, because they're up 17x. I said, get that original and take that money out so you can use it for another time. I remember seeing wildfires in Cali where the area was burnt with precision. Houses were burnt flat and like 9/11 buildings and cars wheels melted. Wildfires don't heat up to 1,250 degrees. Yeah, I thought that was really weird where when they did that, this was like 2 years ago, right? Where they had the fires burning, but it was like just the house, not the forest around it. House burned, house burned, house burned. Yeah. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube, guys. So I won't go too much into what that likely was. I've seen Egypt is really bad. Yeah. So sad, significant self-embolism represents in historical events. Hate to see it. Stormy. 2006. I was in grade 6. It's okay. Hey, look, you got the old dudes like myself who's seen a couple things, and thanks to YouTube, I'm able to impart some of that knowledge that I've gained over the years and the wisdom that I've gained, and help other people out. I was lucky. I was a nurse, and I worked night shifts and evenings, so I always had a lot of time. So I was constantly reading books. I was constantly paying attention to what's happening in the world. All the other nurses thought I was freaking weird, because I would work 6 to 9 months straight, working 70 to 80 hours a week, and then I would go to Ethiopia for 2 months. I was never a full-time employee. I was always what's called a per diem nurse. So I could work as many hours as I want, but I didn't have any health insurance or anything like that. I got paid more. I worked like mad, but then I'd disappear for 2 months. I'd be like, damn, where did Randy go? That's just how I rolled. I did that for many years. It was a great lifestyle. I had lots of vacations. So this is the way to go. Tell the fam, then let them reach out. I've gotten BS every time I've tried to get my family on the crypto wave. Well, and that's necessarily crypto. There's other things you could do for them. You could start telling them, look, it's time to get, these people aren't going to maybe not listen to the crypto, but if you warn them right now and say, hey, maybe some time you start stocking up on supplies, maybe get some cash out and just have it on hand. Start, have a couple months worth of food while the prices are not out of control yet. Go buy some, 20-pound bags of rice that will store for at least a year. That kind of stuff. And things that are canned that will last a while. That's about all you can do. Don't worry about right now. Worry about survival for the next 18 months. I wouldn't worry so much about crypto. Seriously, crypto's like the icing on the cake. And there's the signal. Yeah, the building lights went out. What is your strategy? The PRC copies of ERC20s will get copied. Do you think PRCs will get dumped so much at launch you may scout some, like a coin that $1 and ETH dumps to 10 cents on Pulse? Yeah. Yep. That's going to be the question. What's going to happen to the Pulse chain versions of the ERCs? Motorcycle. I really don't know what's going to happen, but everything's going to have liquidity in the beginning. So you might be able to get some Pulse really cheap because there's going to be a pool for each. There's going to be liquidity for each one of the coins. You might, if you're the first one in there and you sell, you might get a really good deal. Test them, see what happens first before you make a big sale, but see how much Pulse you get for it. That might be the way to go. And people have asked me in the past, how are they going to get Pulse? What's the best way to get Pulse chain on day 1 or day 2? And that's probably one of the better ways. The other one is just having hex and selling hex if you didn't participate in the sacrifices. My parents are Kenyan, but I was raised in the UK. What was Ethiopia like? It's fabulous. I love it, man. Maybe because I'm a white man. I don't know. And remember, Ethiopia was the only country in Africa that was never subjugated by a European country. Italy tried, but Ethiopia kicked their ass under Haile Selassie. So the country's just absolutely gorgeous. Right now, they're in civil war. So the north, where I got to spend a lot of time, I got to go to Mekelle and Adwa, where the Battle of Adwa happened, where they beat the Italians. I got to go all up there. Aksum, where the Queen of Sheba, her kingdom, where she sat. So, the church where the Ark of the Covenant is supposedly kept, I got to go stand outside because that's all you can do. Got to go see all the obelisks. Then I went all the way down south near the Kenyan border. I went to Lake Owassa, got to go see all the hippos and the storks and all that cool stuff. The monkeys everywhere. Big monkeys, unlike here. Our monkeys are pretty small in Panama, but their monkeys are giant. So yeah, I love Ethiopia, but right now I wouldn't recommend traveling there because there's it's kind of limited. Addis Ababa kind of sucks. It's the capital city, like any other capital city. You want to get out of Addis Ababa. You want to go south, preferably. North is dry. It's very desert-like. And my ex-girlfriend, she was from the north, so when we went up there, she had tons of family and stuff showing us around. So I felt totally safe. But as a regular tourist, I don't think I would do that. Out by myself. That's the first time somebody ever washed my feet. I went to her great grandmother's house, who lived way up near Ottawa, up in the mountains. I had to climb up a mountain for 45 minutes just to get to her property. Her grandmother lived in her 90s, was still farming on her own. She had multiple small little houses, and I came in the house and she had her nieces washing my feet. My wife says, don't blow your head up or anything, but man, that was an experience. It was great. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Best place to get Hex. That would be Uniswap or CowSwap or any of the other places. Yeah, there you go, CowSwap. You pay the gas in Hex. That's a great deal. That's so cool, Stormy. Yeah. It's like the last couple of years have either empowered people to seek and find the truth or absolutely ostracize you for doing so. Look, the masses aren't going to see it. There's nothing you can do for the masses. They are set in their ways. But once in a while, it's just like the movie Matrix, where they come in, they grab you, and they drop you. And you're taken out of the Matrix, and then you see everything for what it is. And it really changes your perspective on life. I can't even watch a movie normally. My wife hates it because I'll start making comments. But you know what I noticed recently is she's actually starting to make comments too. She's like, "Oh, look at what does that mean?" I'm like, "Oh, here we go. Pause it." Was that a symbol? You know, were they doing a Illuminati symbol or anything? Really creepy. The Clintons, heck yeah, I've lost so many. Yeah. Lost a lot of friends. You ask a question, you're a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, but because there's that meme going around. This is the time to start apologizing to your conspiracy theorist friends, because everything we've been saying for the last 10 years is coming true. And we got to find new conspiracy theorists, new conspiracy theories. Oh God, like Seinfeld and Friends. Yeah. All right, folks. I'll see you tomorrow night. We are 1 hour and 8 minutes. Thank you. Tomorrow night, hopefully I'll turn the music off. Sorry for the first couple minutes, but cheers.